This is Tracy, Hands to Work, and this is a video about cross stitch and needlework and home life, family, friends, anything I can think of. So this is today is Thursday, August 13th, and in 2 days, on Saturday, August 15th, I will have been married for 40 years. 40 years. Those are old people that are married for 40 years. How did this happen? I don't know. But I got married young. I was only 20, and I did have my 60th birthday in June. So I guess I'm an old person. I have the white hair. And gray and whatever color. I don't even know what color my hair is anymore. It used to be brown. So, yeah, 40 years. I had my first son 10 months and 1 week after we got married. So, of course, there was I had a really little wedding, and I got married on a Friday because I didn't want a big wedding. I didn't want a big to-do. It was immediate family only. But because I chose to do that, everyone knew I was pregnant, and I was not. But I had my son very quickly afterwards, and he turned 39 in June. He was born on my birthday. So, yeah, my kids are getting old for sure. My middle one will be 38 on Christmas Day, and my youngest one will be 34 in October. So I don't know how that happened either. They were babies just a couple months ago. But anyway, yeah, we've had a good life. I'm proud to have been married to the same person for 40 years, and I really do feel that God was watching out for both of us, because I'm sure I'm no picnic. As a matter of fact, I know I'm not. I'm a little crazy sometimes, and it's been hard at times, but then it's also been great and fun, and so anyway, I got very lucky with my husband because he has the patience of Job. When he gets angry with me, I have really, really, really pushed him. He just doesn't get angry with me very often. I, on the other hand, get really frustrated with him, but I think it's always justified. So I'm going to turn this light on and see if that helps. Seems like it's a little dark. It's supposed to rain. Ugh, I don't know. Anyway, it's supposed to rain, and it's gotten cloudy outside, and it's about 4:30. So the reason I'm able to do this video is I cannot video in front of Chuck or when he's in the next room. I don't know why, but it really makes me feel self-conscious, which is silly because I don't care if he watches it. I just don't want to do it in front of it. So he left earlier today to go to West Virginia. He and his brother have the closing for his mom's house tomorrow, which is very bittersweet. His mom passed away in March, and so they got the house sold, everything out and sold. And it was mostly Jimmy and his wife Cassie who did most of the work because they live right there. But it's good that it's done, but it's really sad too that chapter of their lives and our lives has closed. I know that it bothers my kids that they've lost their last grandparent, and it just is different. Traditions will change now. We always went in for Christmas, not necessarily Christmas Day, but we'd go in for a weekend before or after, and everyone would get together, and a lot of food and a lot of fun, and just, you know how it is when families get together. And I don't know what we're going to do this year. And with the way things are, I just don't know. So, change is hard. No one likes change, but it's part of life, and you got to deal with it. I just wanted to say this is as close as I can get to a Beth Twist hairstyle, as curly as it gets. But I worked out this morning for 30 minutes really hard. I was dripping sweat, And so when I showered afterwards, I just let it dry. And like I said, this is as curly as it gets. So, but I'm feeling very Beth Twist like, even though I'm so not even close. But one can wish. The reason why I worked out is because I've been making ice cream a lot lately. We've, of course, been staying home because of COVID. And so I put on the COVID 15. I have eaten snacks and we've kind of just, junk, and we're just not eating healthy. I mean, we've done better in the summer, but still we haven't been as active because we haven't been going to the gym. And honestly, I think we're going to cancel our gym membership because my husband is definitely not comfortable going. And he doesn't want to work out with a mask on, and I don't blame him. I don't feel as nervous about it, but I also don't have heart issues, so, and I certainly don't want him to get sick from me. So anyway, so all that to say that I thought today I needed to try a little harder. The other day I walked a really fast 2 miles, and this morning I worked out upstairs. Of course, if you saw my Instagram post, you saw that Helen couldn't stand it. She was in my face, she was rolling on the floor, she licked me, she barked at me, she threw toys at me. And then after I was done and trying to cool off in front of the fan, she had to lay right on top of me. So what a goofball. Anyway, let's see. What I want to talk about is I don't have a ton of things to show. I want to talk a little bit about a reproduction sampler that I have stitched, and I'm charting it and we'll have it framed. So I'm hoping that maybe October I'll have that out. I'm designing things for Christmas and also for Nashville market, if we have a Nashville market. Don't know what will happen, but we'll see. And so, but that's what I have. Some other things being stitched right now. One thing is lost in the mail, which is very frustrating. I'm hoping that it's supposed to go to Faye so she can finish it. It's a drum, and I showed part of it on an Instagram post a while back, and it doesn't even say when I track it where it is. It just says it's going to be delayed, and that's the same thing it said since this started. Been pretty frustrated about it. So I'm having it restitched. I stitched it, and I'm such a slow stitcher. That makes it even more frustrating to me that it might never show up anywhere. But I'm having it restitched by Tammy Maddox, who is a super fast, super awesome stitcher. She's the one who stitched Hannah Henson, the girls sampler, and oh, she's so good. So she already stitched another drum, a companion drum, which is on its way to Faye to finish. And she's going to restitch the first one for me, and then she'll send that to Faye. So I'll have those out as soon as I can get everything, as soon as I get them back and photographed and that sort of thing. So, and speaking of the post office, here's a good example of how things go. And it's the delivery people that get all the, I'm sure people get frustrated with them, but they can only deliver what they have. And we have the most wonderful mail woman named Tammy. She keeps milk bones in her truck. Helen, as soon as she hears her come up the road, Helen gets all excited. And if she doesn't see Helen, she leaves it in the mailbox. She's super nice. But I know that, they've made some cutbacks in the post office system. And then COVID, and there's just so many things. So I'm not really angry at them. I'll still use them, I think, unless it's an actual stitch piece, and I think I'm going to go use UPS. But I ordered a MacBook case back in May, early May, end of April, early May, and from Amazon. But the seller on Amazon shipped it May 5th, and I got it on Monday. So June, July, August, 3 months. So maybe maybe Faye will get that stitched piece. I'm hoping. We'll see. So anyway, the reproduction sampler, I'm going to show you the original. I'm not going to show you the stitched piece, but this is the original. And I love it. The reason why I got it is because of that ship. I just love that ship. Thought it was very cool. And I like the colors. I like, at least what I'm drawn to, I always see they're green and gold, lots of greens and golds. And I really like the blue. And the blue is pretty vibrant in this. There, of course, is some stitch loss, but the verse is over 1, and then the lowercase alphabet is over 1. I stitched mine on 40 count parchment by Weeks. This is a very loose linen weave, and I can't remember what it is, but you can see it's pretty see-through. I will read you the verse, because I love the verse. Hannah Clark, second surviving daughter of George and Sarah Clark. The first Clark is just C-L-A-R-K, and the second Clark is C-L-A-R-K-E, so I'm not sure. Was born March 28th, 1828, performed this work in the year of our Lord, 1837. I think it's very sweet. So, like I said, mine is done. It's smaller than this one, almost square, but it's, because I use 40 count, it's smaller. Of course, you can stitch it on any count you want. I don't think it wouldn't work on Ada because of the over 1, but anyway. Some other things I have stitched for myself, for selfish stitching. I joined the Scattered Seed Sampler Club, and I did this through Etsy. And the first chart was Little Wren. I thought it was so sweet, and I saw Carol Saltbox Stitcher. She showed this on her, I think 2 videos. I've seen it, and it's so sweet. It's packaged beautifully. I got the second one, which is Skeptical Gatherings. Sorry about the glare, but it's got bee skeps, berries, birds, bees, flowers. But look how it's packaged. It's DMC thread. She has a piece of ribbon, a needle, and a little charm. And it's so pretty. And she puts backing in there plus the linen. And I want to say it's 36 count. Yes, Edinburgh Vintage Country Mocha for the first one. And mine isn't finished yet. Close. But this is it. Little Wren. I just have to put some leaves over here. It's finished in an oval. The backing fabric is gorgeous, but I don't have it down here with me. So pretty. So I stitch on this. I'll pick it up in the evening sometimes when I don't have other things I have to do, because it's not hard stitching. There's no over 1. There's nothing complicated. It's pretty straightforward. I use 1 thread because I cannot use 2 because I just can't. Which I don't think. I think her directions say, let me look. Use 1 strand of DMC over 2 linen threads. And that's how much thread she gives you. If you tried to use 2, I think you'd run out. But it's DMC, so you could always pick up more. So I have that one, and as soon as I finish, I'll start the other one. The other piece I've worked on, but not for a while, is from the Dying to Stitch Retreat. The Equality Sampler. Let me take it out. I know you all have seen this. Paulette did a video about it, and oh, it's just beautiful. The tomatoes and berries, the border, it's awesome. The flag. So I do have a small start on this. Not a lot, but it's really pretty. I'm using a 46 count linen because I like to make things hard on myself. So the over 1 is okay for lettering, but where I had trouble was I did a new constellation, which Paulette released earlier this year. and it also is on 46 count, and I wanted them to be the same size. So the lettering is fine. I did a full cross on the lettering, and I was okay with it. Where I had trouble was in the solid stitching. Well, there's a flower there that's over one. There's this down here. The tombstone and those flowers, the flowers are kind of funky. I really struggled with them. All that solid stitching, trying to do a full cross, but that's how I started, so I kept going with it. It was hard. I got the special ballpoint beading needles from the attic, and so I used those, but it's really the cotton thread. And so if you use a tiny count, make sure that you use the fine silk thread. I think that would make it much easier. So on the Equality sampler, I'm going to go ahead and do the lettering over a full cross stitch. But any other over one where it's kind of dense stitching, like her other sampler, I think I will just do a half cross stitch for that, and it will make my life easier. It's still kind of hard. All that, like I said, all that dense, there's a lot of stuff going on in a little tiny space. So, but the Equality sampler, I think it's gorgeous. Paulette is really good. Yeah, she's the best, and she's hilarious and cool. The other thing I've been doing is I've had this kit for quite a while, but Michelle Rudy she started a Patreon channel, and she started stitching the Santa from, I'm not sure how you say it. I don't know if it's MMM Crafts or Crafts. I don't know. But she's on Etsy, and she has the most wonderful designs for wool felt. And so I've had the Santa. Actually, I saw Vonna. Vonna did it last year, I think. She made the Santa, and that's when I bought the chart. And then, but I didn't do anything with it. I bought the chart and I bought the kit. But then Michelle did a video. She started it, and I thought, oh, I just need to do it. So I decided to make these for the kids for Christmas. So here is my completed one. I still have to make a little candy cane that goes in here, and he holds a little bell with this hand. But he's 99.9% done. And he's sparkly, and he's happy. And he's just so cute. His little boots. I put 2020 on the back. I think I'm going to hang a little tag or something. Put something somewhere with Wyatt's name on it. The sequins on here, I found in an old scrapbook kit. And then the beads I had from back in the day, they're just Mill Hill beads that I had. I think he's adorable. And the instructions for this are incredible. So detailed. She tells you everything to do. Now what I did on here is I used some of that gold blending filament. That stuff is evil. How do people cross stitch with it? I don't know. But I am not going to use it on Lily's. So this is Wyatt's. Super cute, and you can see smaller than my hand. It's just a tiny little guy. Takes a lot of time to make these, but if you do it a little bit, you know, here and there, and then put it together, it is fun. It's a lot of fun. So here's what I have done of Lily so far. I have everything cut out. I'm ready to go. But I did that outside of the coat. You can see it's this piece without the white on. I'll still have to put the white on it and do all the beads. But super cute. This is Moda wool. I got a pack. I don't know how many colors. 10 maybe? 8? 10, I don't know. I've had it for years, and I'm guessing I got it from Country Sampler. I don't know. But the wool is super nice, especially after I soaked it. You have to soak your wool before stitching on it because it can bleed. And I'm glad I did, because my other, this wool, or it's like a wool blend, it didn't bleed at all. But this red, and then I'm also using a pink, and it bled a lot. So I'm glad I did soak it. She tells you exactly how to do it. But this wool is super nice. I don't know if they still sell wool or not. But like I said, this was old, and I dug through my stash and pulled it out. But it's a lot of fun. So I need to get hers done. I'm going to put these, I have some oval paper mache boxes. And so I'm trying to decide if I should do some wool applique to go on top. I'll line them with paper or something. But I'm not sure what I want to do. But I'd like to make them a keepsake box so they can put that Santa down in there so that it doesn't get ruined over the years. I put a lot of time into it, so I'm going to force them to take care of it. I hope. Wyatt's young, and he'll probably want to play with his, so we'll see. I'm hoping that Mimi will encourage him to be careful. So we'll see. Let's see. What else have I been doing? We went camping a couple weeks ago, and it was a lot of fun. First time we've camped in a couple years. And we went to Seneca Rocks in West Virginia, which is absolutely gorgeous. And if anyone lives around here and has never been, it's worth the drive. But you are totally off the grid when you're there. It's a tiny little campground, and there might have been 5 or 6 other campers there when we were there. But everyone was very careful about keeping distance. We just kind of stand at the road and wave at each other, talk a little bit. But we stay right by the river. Helen likes to get down in the river and swim a little bit. She's getting old, so she doesn't do it a lot. If we walk further down the river, there's a deep pool, and she can really swim. My husband loves to go there and trout fish, but it's not. The water was really low, so it wasn't even that much fun for Helen to get into because she could only a little spot where she could swim. But we stayed for a couple days, and it was a lot of fun, relaxing. We just sit by the fire and talk and listen to music, and I always have some handwork to work on, and Chuck, he'll read a book or whatever, so it's nice. We watched a DVD of the movie, what was it called? It was about the kid who hiked to Alaska and stayed in that bus. I can't remember what it's called, but I'd never seen it. I'd heard about it, and I saw recently on the news where they had to move the bus because so many people were trying to get to it, and it's so remote that people are getting into trouble. Getting lost or bad weather, that sort of thing. But it was interesting. It's a true story. And I think he was originally from down this way in Virginia, but he doesn't make it, which is sad. So anyway, we watched that. I think my son left it in the camper, so we watched that. But other than that, I cook breakfast outside in the morning, and we cook over the fire. A lot of fun. And if I A, can remember, and B, can figure it out, I'll try to put a picture that I took of the rocks, and with the moon right there. It's so pretty. You can see it from the campground. Other than that, nothing too exciting. We see the kids some, which is nice, but that does keep me from being able to see my sister, who it's been a long time now, she had breast cancer, when she was 42. And she had chemo, she had a mastectomy, and chemo, radiation, and a stem cell transplant. So because her immune system was so compromised, she has to be very, very careful. She's never relapsed. We're so thankful for that. My mother died from breast cancer at 37, so she doesn't want to, which I don't blame her. I don't want to do it either. But because we see the grandkids, and Lily goes to her dad's, and she sees different people, and it's not really a controlled environment with young kids. It's hard. She just doesn't want to possibly be exposed to something, and so I really miss her. We talk on the phone, but We haven't seen each other for quite a while, and she'll come down here for a couple days, or I'll go stay with her in Morgantown for a couple days, but we're just gonna have to wait. Because of COVID, everything has changed so much that who knows when or if things will get back to normal. I don't know. It's really been a different time. So we have had a bumper crop of tomatoes, and this morning I cooked the remaining tomatoes that I had that are ripe. I'm making a sauce, so it's still on the stove cooling, so I have to strain it, get the seeds out. But so I had so many tomatoes, and they all ripened, of course, at the same time. I was like going like crazy. I made yard sauce, Priscilla's yard sauce, and then traditional sauce. I've made pizza sauce, and I still lost some of there were several today that I had to put in the compost pile because they were just too far gone. I couldn't even cut the bad out and have anything really left. So I hate that. I hate to throw them away. We still have a lot of green tomatoes on the vines, and so I'm sure we will get some more tomatoes before the season is done. I've gotten a few cucumbers. I had struggled with cucumber plants because the squirrels kept digging them up, and so I ended up with one, and it's now producing. We put in our green beans late, but we should have green beans here in a few weeks. And I'm going to sow a second crop of beets. I had the most amazing beets. It's the first time I've ever grown them. They were awesome. We roasted them. I would cook them and just serve them with butter and sea salt, and then pickled a lot of them. But we ate them all up. They were so good. And Chuck said, okay, that's it. We're going to sell the house, buy a 5-acre farm, and plant acres of beets. That's how good they were. And they were, I got one that was this big. And that's really too big, but it was still good. It wasn't bitter or nasty. It was still good. They were delicious. So we're going to sow some more and hopefully get those before cold weather sets in. So gardening has been good this year. I have to do some maintenance this fall with beds, and we got some, what's it called, mushroom mulch from the place where we get bulk mulch. They just dump it in the back of the truck, and it smelled really bad, but oh man, it was awesome. And I need another load of that for this fall. I've got to amend some more beds, and I like to have a pile of it that I'll throw a little bit in the compost pile, and I'll throw some around plants, and it's really awesome. It's all rotted, and so it's not acidic. Really awesome stuff. It's not very expensive. I don't remember how much it was. Maybe $30 for a truckload. So, and then before you know it, it's going to be cold, and Thanksgiving and Christmas, and we'll start all over again. Years flying by. I don't know how me being home most of the time, I'm a homebody anyway, and then with COVID, and we just don't go anywhere. We're still doing church online. People are going to church, but I just don't feel comfortable in that enclosed space. It's not crowded, but Chuck is really uncomfortable with it, and he's had some heart issues, and I don't blame him. Anytime we do go out, we've been very, very careful, and we've gone out a little, but we don't go, anywhere that's crowded. We don't go to a restaurant. We've just been careful. So, yeah. Anyway, what I was saying was, how is it that a person that stays home all the time, that I pretty much do the same thing every day. I cook, I clean, I go for a walk, I garden, I stitch, but time gets away from me, and it's been so long since I've done a video. And every time I do a video, I say, oh, it's been so long, and I lost track of time, and then I do it again. So I don't know. I think what I really need to do is actually schedule it in my planner. I would be more successful, I think, if I did that. And then the other thing is getting my husband out of the house so that he's not bothering me. We're still adjusting to both of us being home all the time. And for me, being home is no big deal. we're both homebodies. But I always have things to do. I never run out of things to do. My husband does. And he struggled a little bit. And especially, not that he would go out and do something, but he can't. And I think that's kind of what bothers him. He can't go to the movies. He can't go to a restaurant. He can't, whatever. And no vacation. We'd like to go to the beach. We can't go to the beach. So I think that has been maybe what's bothered him. So therefore he follows me a lot and looks over my shoulder and reads me the paper, the opinion page, every morning. So, but that's okay. It's all right. We figure it out. And sometimes when I've had enough, I tell him, can you do this for me? Or can you go to the store? I think the grass needs mowed. So that's, I guess, how we've stayed married for 40 years. So thanks for hanging out with me for a little bit. I want to thank everyone who has subscribed and who's commented, who watches. I really do appreciate it. And then also I want to thank all the people that do videos and do them regularly. They put a lot of work into it. And show so many things and talk about so many things. If I was a faster stitcher, I would have more to show you. But I sure do appreciate them. And, oh, I had one thing I wanted to show you. Hold on. I wanted to show you this. Probably has dust on it, I'm sure. And the frame is kind of beat up, but this, I want to say this is Little by Little. This chart, I stitched it in 2003 and I loved it, the little guy in the boat, but I stitched it over one. I don't know if you can tell, but it's really tiny. So you can see there's my hand and there's that sampler. And I looked at it the other day and I thought, I have to remember to show everyone this. I've done several pieces over one and I just love them. So sweet. Full cross. This is probably, what do you suppose this is? 32 count, which is super manageable. Now I've done over one on 40 count, but I don't think this is 40. I'm not sure. But anyway, I hadn't shown anything from the vault in a long time, and so I wanted to share this. Okay, now I'm gonna go. I chatted more than I intended, but again, thank you for watching, and I will see everyone again soon. Thanks. Bye.